This is an apple berry crisp. Start with a few apples, which you will peel and then slice. I won't make you watch me peel apples all day, but once they're peeled, just cut them up into slices and then about 1-inch chunks. If you're able to, composting your fruit and veggie scraps is a really great thing to add to your compost and help stop food waste. I'm going to line the bottom of my baking pan with my apple chunks, and I feel like I want a few more fruits in there, so I happen to have a bag of frozen berries that I'm going to add into the mix. This is about 6 cups total of fruit. My mixed berries have blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, and strawberries. Any fruit that's a little bit too big for being bite-sized, I'm going to cut down into 1-inch chunks. You can make a crisp out of almost any fruit you have on hand. Berries, apples, pears, peaches. The only fruits that might not work would be like bananas or citrus fruit. But other fruits, even tropical fruits like mango, pineapple, coconut chunks, those would all work in a crisp. You can even use canned and frozen fruits. For this last video, I wanted to do something that almost anyone could do just with stuff that they probably have around the house. Things like canned, frozen, or fresh fruits like apples, flour, sugar, baking soda, baking powder, all things that are generally in a pantry. This is also one of the easiest recipes to make, and you can have it for breakfast, brunch, or even dessert. So make sure the bottom of your baking pan is covered in a nice thick layer of your fruit. Your fruit will shrink as it cooks because the juices leak out, so it's okay if it seems like it's too much because they will reduce in size. Next, we're going to sweeten up and add some flavor. We're going to use 1 cup of sugar. That's just regular granulated white sugar, which will be mixed with 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour and then 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and mix that all together. Here's another spot where you can get a little bit creative with the things from your pantry. Maybe you want a little nutmeg added into your mixture or some other spices. That would work out. Be creative. I would say as a rule, any spice that you can put into apple pie or pumpkin pie would work well here. Now just sprinkle that mixture evenly over all of your fruit. Next, you need a 1/2 cup of liquid to pour over your sugar mixture and your fruit. I'm using water here, but if you have apple juice at home, that would work out really well, or some kind of berry juice or even grape juice. Now set your pan aside and we're going to make another dry mixture. This time we're going to use 1 cup of oats. You can use quick cooking or old-fashioned. I have old-fashioned here. Once you add in the oats, you add 1 cup of all-purpose flour and mix those together. Then add 1 cup of packed brown sugar. I'm just going to empty my bag into it because I'm almost out of brown sugar, so I'm just going to finish out the bag here. Then mix all of those together. After you mix those ingredients, you'll add in 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder and 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. This ingredient is optional. I like walnuts, I like nuts, so I'm going to add in a few handfuls of those, but you can skip those if you don't want them. Here's another place where you can get creative. If you like shredded coconut, you could add that in. You could add in some dried fruits like raisins or craisins. This is where you can really customize your crisp by adding a few different toppings. All right, after all those dry ingredients are well mixed, we're going to add in 1 stick or 1/2 cup of melted butter and mix it all together, and it will look kind of golden brown, sticky. All right, once all that's mixed together and all those dry ingredients have been moistened by the butter, we are going to spread it evenly over the top of the fruit. We're just gonna kind of crumble it over the fruit. So that's going to look a lot like granola on the top of your fruit. Now we are ready to bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 45 minutes. While that bakes, that gives us plenty of time to make a quick, simple vanilla ice cream. So first we're going to use 1 cup of whole milk, then we whisk in 1/3 cup of regular white sugar, granulated sugar. Make sure it's well mixed. Now we're going to gently stir in some heavy whipping cream. We're going to do this gently because we don't want to incorporate too much air and put in too many air bubbles because that will change the texture of the ice cream. And then we're also going to add in 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And that is a basic mix for a quick vanilla ice cream. So next, bust out that old Walmart ice cream machine that somebody gave you for your birthday a few years ago. And since you can't find the directions to it now, just try to figure it out on your own. That metal thing is where we put our ice cream mix. That looks like a paddle or a churner and a lid. And the bucket is where we fill it with ice and salt. And then this motor will make the churn move around. And we'll need a lot of ice and salt. You're supposed to use ice cream salt, but all I have is table salt, so I looked up on the internet. It can be done, and we're going to do it. First, we're going to put our ice cream mixture into the metal canister. It's metal because that makes it really, really cold, and it holds that cold temperature. Make sure you get all of that mixture in there. Looks like some of my sugar stuck to the bottom, so we're going to add that in. Then you need to fix your metal canister into the ice bucket, make it fit. Then we're going to attach the paddle or churner to the lid and seal it. Then we need to pack a bunch of ice all around the bottom and sides. According to the internet, for every 2 inches of ice that I have, I'm going to add in 1/4 cup spread evenly over the ice, 1/4 cup of salt. I'm going to keep on packing in ice and salt until it gets up towards the top of the metal canister. And the next step is try not to break your ice cream maker while you try to figure out how to attach the motor to the canister. It's going to be fine. We're going to figure this out. We're smart people. We've done this before many times. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I'll see you in a minute. That ice cream needs to churn for 20 to 40 minutes. And hey, that's about enough time for that crisp to be done baking. Look how yummy and crispy. It smells great. Make sure you let that crisp cool for at least 10 minutes. It should be golden on top. Now let's dish out a piece and have it with some ice cream, and I'll let you know how it tastes. All those fruits should be tender but not mushy, and they'll be really sweetened and juicy. Now, isn't that a lovely sight to see? Delicious hot apple crisp with some fresh homemade vanilla ice cream. Let's see how it tastes. Does she like it? Is it any good? How do we do? Anything? Oh, it's good. She likes it. All right, see you later, kids.